So we're right outside the Dickinson family plot in the West Cemetery of Amherst, Massachusetts. And I'll tell you who's buried here. But and most importantly to us is Emily Dickinson. She's a poetess that grew up in Amherst and wrote all her poems in Amherst. Those poems survived only because of her sister. She told her sister to burn her diary or her poems. Her sister burned her diary but refused to burn her poems. And Lavinia, her sister, saved it for all the world. Her parents are buried alongside of her, and what I'm going to do is we're going to go close to it, but most of the time her life was very solitary, of course, because she had to think so much about what she was writing. Her brother Edward is buried in the Westwood Cemetery of Amherst, and he designed that cemetery. So someday we'll have a tour through there. Her parents, Edward Dickinson, he died in 1874, a fairly rich merchant man. Her mother, Emily Nora Cross, died in 1882. Emily herself died in 1886, only in her 50s. So her brother, one of her brothers, Samuel, is buried along the right here. In Lavinia, her sister died in 1899, is buried to her left-hand side. Now, the fence is not normal. Most plots don't have fences. When there are fences, they're usually close in, and so that is a good representation. But most families do not have fences around it. This was put in much later by Amherst in order to make sure that the gravestones will survive. So many people were coming to it, and that's fine. But of course, even if everyone behaves, there's still going to be so much touching against it and so much walking over the ground. So they decided to put a fence around it. But her poems are incredible, and I'm glad they got saved. And you can also visit her house because it's a house museum. And if you come to the cemetery, this is so easy to find because it's in towards the back middle. And this is, of course, the most famous person in Amherst. So thank you for coming to this stop.